Hey guys, what's up? Melly here. Just gonna adjust that. There we go. So I just wanted to give my thoughts, opinions, reactions to Money in the Bank from last night. I was drinking last night, so I didn't really feel like, doing a reaction right away afterwards. So I figured I would collect my thoughts overnight and just kind of put it all out there for you guys to, converse with me on what your thoughts were. The kickoff show was impressive, though I really wish they would have swapped out Cesaro and Jeff Hardy for one of the matches on the main card, which I'll get into when I talk about the match itself. But Jeff Hardy versus Cesaro was awesome. Their two unique styles just worked so well. You would think they would clash, but it just made for such a good match, such a good opener, a great way to get people, pumped up for it. I really wish it would have been on the main card as opposed to one of the matches on the main card, because that match deserved main card treatment. I know it's, kind of a new storyline, a new, storyline arc, but it belonged more on the main card than one of the matches on the main card. Now, we kick off the main card with the triple threat, fatal four-way for the SmackDown Tag Team Champions. Of course, my pick was the New Day because I'm a New Day fanatic. I have so much of their merch, it's ridiculous. But it was a great match. Lucha House Party really impressed me. I haven't really been the biggest fan of them because they seem to be, kind of lost within the shuffle of the mid to lower card, especially the past couple years or so. But no, they really impressed me. Their style is their in-ring is really improving. And Miz and Morrison, of course, were impressive as always. And just there was one moment, and I wish I would have written this down, but there was one moment where there was a really awesome flip, and it looked so awesome. It looked like it was almost a botch, or maybe it was just it was just awesome. It was almost a botch, though. I could see that it was almost gonna be a botch, but the speed of the flip was just awesome. So, of course, New Day retained, which I was more than happy about. I actually had my toy tag team title out. I had it on. I was wearing my Nia Jax shirt last night. And I had my SmackDown title sitting by my side when I was sitting on the couch there. But yeah, so that was an awesome match. And then we get to R-Truth versus MVP. And I was actually looking forward to that match because I have been a fan of MVP through all the different companies he's worked for, and I thought it would just be a great match. But when it turned out that Bobby Lashley was taking over for MVP and giving him the night off, that's when I tuned out as soon as that happened. I was just you know what, why? And this is the match I really wish they would have put on the kickoff show. If they were going to do something with a little swerve like this that meant absolutely nothing in terms of the actual story going forward, they should have put that on the kickoff. Honestly, it doesn't accomplish anything. It doesn't progress anything. It didn't progress anything. Now, like I said, I know that Cesaro versus Jeff Hardy was kind of a new story arc that they were trying to develop, and it was developing, but it would have served so much better as the match in between after the Fatal 4-Way tag match than MVP versus R-Truth, which turned into Bobby Lashley versus R-Truth. Now, the saving grace of that match was R-Truth, because he is so entertaining. If he's in a match or if he's in a segment, I will watch it. And as soon as his part in the segment or the match is over, or, it's somebody else comes in, I'll fast forward it. And I didn't watch the pay-per-view live. I watched it, I was about an hour behind for the first little bit, just because I knew that they would kind of have the, not to say in a negative sense, but the weaker matches up first. So I thought, okay, like matches that I really wasn't interested in too much, as much as later on in like the other matches. But no, I just really would have hoped that they would have kept MVP versus R-Truth, not brought Bobby Lashley in. Like, come on, like that makes no sense. And just have it on the kickoff, because that would have been a much more reasonable use of it than having it on the main card. And demoting Cesaro versus Jeff Hardy to the kickoff show. Jeff Hardy versus Cesaro deserved a spot on the main card more than R-Truth versus MVP / Bobby Lashley. Honestly. So then we get to the SmackDown Women's title match. Tamina versus Bayley. And I have to say, like, Sasha Banks didn't play much of a role as much as she has in times previous. Like, there was a few, like, false interferences that happened during the match, and I was really surprised that she wasn't more involved in the match than she ended up being by the end of it. Of course, I was kind of hoping that Tamina would actually, you know, improve or impress people more, but it just seemed like it was a very underwhelming match. Very underwhelming. Very, very underwhelming. Then of course we get to the Money in the Bank matches, and Money in the Bank matches were we'll start at the beginning here. So having all the men start in the gym, as soon as I saw that gym, just throwback memories. I thought of like the training package for the Royal Rumble when Vince and Shane were training in the gym. It just brought back so many memories. I was literally marking out more for like the different rooms in the tower than probably I was for the matches a good portion of the time. But yeah, it is just like as soon as I saw the gym, like I had the logo, I just had this big smile on my face because all I could think of was Shane going like this and like, you gotta eat lightning and crap thunder. That's all I could think of. And as soon as they went to pick up the weight, that's all I could think of. I just wanted them to pull a Shane O'Mac, just be like, you gotta eat lightning and crap thunder. It was funny. And then the Brother Love cameo, like that was odd. But I was like, yes, that's awesome. But why would they have Brother Love in the bathroom make a cameo? Like, why couldn't they have him make a cameo on like the way, like in one of the elevators or something? That would have just been awesome. So then there's a Stephanie cameo, which I marked out for because, like I've said before, I'm a huge Shane and Stephanie fan. So, and the whole time I'm like, as soon as Brother Love's cameo happened, I was like, okay, they gotta have a Shane cameo. Like, please, for the love of God, have a Shane cameo. So then they had Stephanie in cameo, and I'm like, okay, can we have a Shane cameo now, please? And so, of course, I was laughing my ass off, and, like, Stephanie was like, you guys are making a huge mess. I'm like, you guys are the ones that okayed this to happen, so, but I think it was just for comic relief, if anything, which it worked. Like, and then she's like, oh, Tamina's drooling on, or, Nia Jax's just drooling all over the place, and I'm like, it was just funny. And then watching AJ Styles and the whole Undertaker thing, it was just awesome. And, having him get, like, locked in the casket room, it was so funny. So then they end up in Vince's office. And as soon as I see Vince, I'm like, okay, can we have a Shane cameo now? Or a Triple H cameo even. Like, I was literally talking to one of my friends, I'm like, I hope they end up in, like, Vince's office or even Triple H's office. That would have been hilarious, right? So, of course, Vince in jeans, I'm like, wow, I don't think we've ever seen Vince in jeans, like, ever. I don't think we've ever seen them in jeans. So that was interesting. And, yeah, so that was fun. So then everybody gets the roof, and that Doink cameo, like, that wasn't even trying to be Doink. I think just somebody was just bored, and they're just like, hey, this will get a cheap pop, which I popped for because I love Doink. Like, it was such a ridiculous character all these years, and just have an appearance at Money in the Bank that was just so random. It was just like, okay. But I was like, yeah, it's Doink, like, the legend lives on. So anyways, they get to the top, they all go to the top, and Asuka winning. The women's, I was pulling for Nia Jax, of course, and, you know, and that whole spot with Paul Heyman, like, in catering, and the food fight, oh my god, I so badly wanted Kevin Owens to suddenly show up and, like, pie somebody. Like, I was silently hoping, like, when Otis went to pick up the pie, that Kevin Owens would show up and just pie him. That would have been hilarious, because if anybody would have paid attention to the food fight years back on SmackDown Live, nobody knows who pied Kevin Owens, so that just would have been a very interesting, like, little, you know, throwback. And then to have John Laurinaitis, like, really, like, yeah, my review's all over the place, so sue me. But having, and then he's like, people power, and I'm just like, oh my god. Good to see John Laurinaitis still getting TV time all these years later. So then that Paul Heyman spot was hilarious, and like as soon as like somebody attacked Paul Heyman, I was waiting for Brock Lesnar to pop out of nowhere. I was half expecting it. I was like, okay, like Brock needs to F5 somebody through the table, and so when Carmella went through the table, I was like, okay. But I have to give them props, because the whole, like, picture of Carmella going right over Dana Brooke's face, like, that was a full-on Cyndi Lauper throwback. Like, come on, that was awesome. I popped for that. So, and then Otis winning the men's Money in the Bank by AJ Styles' Butterfingers. I'm like, dude, this is why you don't wear those gloves. Like, anybody that has those gloves knows you cannot grip anything worth a crap with those on. So, but Otis winning, I was happy, because it was anybody but Corbin. Like, anybody but Corbin, I would have been happy. But Otis winning, I think that's awesome. I'm intrigued to see how that story goes, and same with Asuka winning the, you know, women's Money in the Bank, and knowing that Becky Lynch is gonna have like something to say on Raw tonight. I don't usually watch Raw. If I do, I usually watch it later so I can fast forward through commercials. But, no, it's interesting. So I'm very interested to see where those go. Now, the reason why I didn't mention the title matches before this is because I was going to go back to that as my fantasy booking portion. So, we have Seth Rollins versus Drew McIntyre, which I was torn, because I love Seth Rollins. I have most of his merch. I don't have any of his Monday Night Messiah merch yet. But trust me, I probably will in the short-term future. And Drew McIntyre, of course, because he was aligned with Shane McMahon last year, I was pulling for him. Because obviously, if Shane was like trying to build him up, like, it's paying off. Like, all the build-up that Shane tried with Drew last year is paying off now. And it's weird, because remember back when his initial run, on Drew's initial run, Vince McMahon said he was the chosen one. And then in his second run, he gets aligned with Shane. Like, if that's not, like, a stamp of approval, you have two of the top McMahons in the company, like, putting faith in Drew McIntyre enough to push him, or at least, you know, build him up as a character, as, you know, a threat. So, Drew winning, I was so happy. I know Shane was probably, like, you know, proud. But, no, and, you know, I want to see where this goes, because I don't think it's over between Rollins and Drew, but the handshake at the end was awesome. Like, you know, it shows that Seth's still a decent guy. Like, you know, he's still a workhorse, obviously. Like, it was definitely a workhorse match. Those two are the workhorses of that card last night. Like, it was amazing. So, seeing Drew win was awesome. but Seth gave a good effort. That was a great match. I would like to see Otis challenge Drew rather than challenging Braun. Mostly because just it would make more sense, but I guess since Braun's on SmackDown, then I could see Otis going after Braun instead. But I would just love him to, go after Drew, because that would be an interesting match. I'm interested to see how they build towards Otis cashing in on either Drew or Braun. Now, the Braun versus Bray Wyatt match, I was underwhelmed. It was an awesome match, don't get me wrong, but I was so hoping that it would be The Fiend instead of Bray Wyatt, because after winning against John Cena at WrestleMania, you would think that he would go on to, not lose. He had a little bit of a push courtesy of John Cena, so you would think that it would go through to Money in the Bank and have him defeat Braun. I think it would have done more for their whole story, but the fact that Braun beat Bray, I was underwhelmed at that result. I was just like, okay, next. What's next? But, like I said with Drew, it would be interesting to see how they build towards Otis cashing in on either of the two. So that I'm very intrigued on how that's going to go about. But yeah, overall it was a great card. Very awesome matches, minus the R-Truth versus MVP / Bobby Lashley. That belonged on Raw. That didn't belong on the main card. If anything, that belonged more on the kickoff show than Cesaro versus Jeff Hardy did. And I really wish they would have, had a little bit more sense in that. Because pay-per-views are usually about building on storylines, especially if it's not one of the main four. If it was one of the main four, then yeah, I could see, it being on the main card, because it would be... It didn't even accomplish anything. It didn't complete a storyline, it didn't start a storyline, it didn't continue a storyline. Whereas Cesaro versus Jeff Hardy, that's continuing a storyline, that's building a storyline. That would have belonged more on the main card, just in my opinion. But I am happy because as soon as the pay-per-view was over, which, again, it was only 2.5 hours long. The main show was 2.5 hours. What? It was over, way early, so they literally went into Undertaker The Last Ride, immediately, and it threw off my PVR, because I have, cable, so when I go to PVR stuff, it has the blocks set, so, thankfully I was already watching, WWE Network, so I just canceled the recording of Undertaker Last Ride, blah, blah, blah. So I just watched it through, of course. Shane cameo in the very, first 3 minutes of the Undertaker, special, and I was I'll get into that in a different video, because this one's going on long enough, but, at the end of the day, I got my Shane cameo. May not have been on Money in the Bank, but, oh well. Anyways, guys, so let me know if you guys agree with my thoughts, disagree with my thoughts, let's have a conversation in the comments below, etc., etc. I'm going to try and do predictions going forward, if I can find a way of doing it. I think it'll just add content to my channel. It'll be more regular since pay-per-views are once every 4 weeks, 3 weeks now. I kind of miss the single brand pay-per-views. The single branded pay-per-views, I wish they'd go back to that, because that was just so much easier. Because then you could build on one brand's storylines in the pay-per-view and not have to worry about, having two different, shows of storylines. Whereas you could continue the storyline on one show and have the pay-per-view for the other. It worked out well. I miss those days. I miss the brand-specific pay-per-views. I miss them. I could see Money in the Bank being, a dual brand. Totally, I can totally see that. But, if it's one of the one-off ones, the, Extreme Rules, blah, 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 I wish they'd go back to, the old ones, Unforgiven should be Unforgiven. I wish they'd bring back Backlash. I wish they'd bring back Bad Blood, for crying out loud. Like, that was a pretty decent pay-per-view back in the day. But, yeah, I'm going a little long on this. Anyways, so there's my thoughts. Let me know what you guys think, and go from there. As for, and I'm going to try and do this on every one of my videos too, I went out grocery shopping earlier, hence why I'm dressed and not in my pajamas, and I was wearing my SummerSlam Air Jordan 1s today. Now, I forgot to mention this in my updated mids collection, but the main reason why I got into mids is because of Shane O'Mac. I know he wears highs and OGs, but I just got into the look of them, and the mids, oh. So, Shane's the main reason why I got into mids, because they looked like they were comfy, and once I started wearing them, I was like, yep, these are comfy, so. But yeah, I'm wearing these are my SummerSlam ones. I call them my SummerSlams. And, I gotta clean off the bottom. But, yeah, and I'm wearing my I Wasn't There WrestleMania shirt. Just because I thought it was fitting. I can't wait to wear this to actual wrestling shows once they come back. I think that's one of the main reasons why I got it, just because it was hilarious. Like, I'm happy they actually, like, took upon that, you know, humor and brought out, like, actually released shirts like this. Like, it just shows that they're trying to keep up with current trends and stuff, so, and they're trying to, you know, and have some entertaining merchandise. Anyways, I'm gonna leave it here, so feel free to have a conversation with me in the comments below. Follow me on social media. Most of them are in my About section. Anyways, hope you guys had a great day. It's Monday, it's a new week. Let's try and do what we can to stay home and continue to flatten the curve. I know things are starting to reopen again, but still, we gotta be safe, we gotta stay safe, we gotta, you know, stay home unless we really need to go out. So hopefully you guys are all staying safe. Thank you again, as it's probably been said numerous times, to all essential workers, nursing, PSWs, bus drivers, truck drivers, delivery drivers, grocery store workers, Tim Hortons workers, Tim Hortons drive-thru workers, anybody that's, you know, helping keep things going, and, you know, thank you. You guys deserve way more credit than you're getting right now. You guys deserve way better than you've gotten all this time, and even before this happened. And I'm hoping that in the aftermath of this, that more can be done to better support you all. So yeah, thank you to everybody that's, you know, still going to work, still being as safe as possible, and, you know, doing what they can to keep us fed, keep us going, and keep this country running. So thank you all. You guys are true heroes, and I hope by the end of this y'all get the Order of Canada. Like, every single person that's an essential worker should get the Order of Canada after all this. The amount of risks you guys take just to go to work every day, just to keep us safe, you guys deserve nothing but the best. So thank you. We love you. Support you. Love y'all. Bye.